Okay, going to go over um, cook system, food storage, and my water storage and filtration. Okay, so first of all, let's go over the cook system. Um, what I'm going to be using is, first of all, the Sea to Summit X Tumbler. I like to eat my breakfast and drink my coffee at the same time. I know that's at least that's the way I'll start out. So I got the X Tumbler from Sea to Summit. Um, it's a great little cup. It's got markings on the inside for measuring water and everything, which helps out greatly. And it folds down real nice. And the ridges on the outside keep the cup from getting hot. It's an excellent little cup. Next, I have a 750 milliliter Tom Shoe titanium pot. Works fantastic. Works just as good as any other one. I think the reason I bought it was because at the time I bought, looking for a 750 mil, I couldn't find an available totes anywhere. Of course, they're everywhere now. But it's the same thing. Little titanium pot. Works great. I mostly only boil water in it. So, and then I also added the silicone tubing to the handles, keep from burning myself. I keep on grabbing the thing, and I always forget to grab, something to not burn my hand. So I put the tubing on. I never use this on an open fire, so the tubing will be safe. Inside, I have my stove. Went through a lot of different stoves, but this is the one I finally settled on, and I'm quite happy with my decision. Is the, let me get it out of here. This is the MSR Pocket Rocket Deluxe. In a lot of ways, it's just like the Soto Windmaster, same thing with the bowl type of configuration. It has the regulator on it, and also a self-igniter. Self-igniter, I don't really trust too much at above certain altitude. This worked fine for me just about everywhere else, but above altitude it doesn't work that well. So I always carry a Bic lighter as well. But this stove has been fantastic. It boils water super fast, very wind resistant. So I think this will, very efficient on fuel as well. So I think this will serve me real well on the Appalachian Trail. Inside my pod, of course, this is where I carry my cylinder at. And I have, I keep this little towel or little, I made it myself, just a little piece of Red Sox fabric, and it keeps the pot. I can wipe my pot out if I have to, but it also, the biggest thing, it keeps it from rattling around, making any noises, and it also prevents it, if there's a little bit of moisture in there, from rusting on the bottom of your can or your pot. It won't rust in your pot as well. I've never had a titanium pot rust, but I have had aluminum pots rust. Also a Bic Mini. I've been using this Bic Mini for about 2 years, so I might replace it, get a new one before I get on the trail. My food bag, the Hilltop Packs, 13 liter. Very light, waterproof, roll top sack. Does the job, works real well. It's just got a snap closure on top, rolls down. I put some little reflective tape on it so I'll be able to see it at nighttime. And plus the orange is pretty bright anyway, so that should help. Inside, first of all, I got a koozie for putting my meals in and keeping them warm while they're rehydrating. I love Big Sky International koozies. They're only about $15. They only weigh 43 grams. They're fantastic. I can use these also to carry out cold items from town, and it'll keep them pretty cool for at least a couple of days, especially when I'm starting in the middle of February. It'll work quite well. I also have another one of these that I use to keep my filtered electronics and everything I don't want to get cold or freeze at nighttime in. Being that they only weigh 43 grams, I like to keep the one that I use to keep my stuff from freezing. Not using that for food items. That way, when it's in my tent at nighttime, there is no food residue on it. That's the reason for I have two of these. But if you haven't checked out Big Sky International, you should. They're extremely good little koozies. I also have a OPSAC. I use this for my trash bag, and the reason I use this again is for smell. I like to keep the smells down with my trash bag. So this thing works extremely well, and I just keep on using it until it dies. I've been using this one quite a while, and it still works really well. I also carry a little plastic mat. I think this thing weighs about 15 grams, something like that. I love using this little thing. It gives me a clean surface to work on. Every once in a while I'll spray it with some sanitizer or whatever just to keep it clean. But it gives me a nice surface to prep making a sandwich or a tortilla roll or something like that. Works great. I have a Nylaflume liner for my food bag. I like using a Nylaflume liner. It just cuts down on the smell, cuts down on critters bothering your food bag. I've never had anything ever touch my food bag using these in it, and I use it actually quite a bit, and also inside a Ursack bear bag. So I always have one of these no matter where I go out. I've been trying to come up with a way not to reuse in the kind of the freezer bag cooking arena. I tried to kind of come up with a way not to use a whole bunch of single-use plastic. So I've tried several different methods, cooking in some kind of insulated mugs, or I've tried stasher bags, so looking for silicone bags, but all those silicone bags are, very heavy. I tried the Sea to Summit Delta Bowl with a lid. That thing's only 130 grams. It works extremely well, and that's my other choice. I don't know if I want to. It's pretty bulky, and at 130 grams is pretty heavy. And I like I bought the Canuck or Canuck bags when they first came out, and I just didn't like the opening of it. And trying to eat out of that opening, it was a real pain in the butt. And they tell you you're supposed to roll down the outside, but I just couldn't get it to work. So what I ended up doing is I ended up cutting it off the top slide lid, the same lid that they use on the Victo bags. I ended up cutting that off, and I cut it, and I kept the strong plastic strip or the stiff plastic strip on it where the actual slider was connected to. Used to have a little loop there. I cut that off too. And then by the time I rolled this down, and I use this little very light plastic clip, I clip it on, and because it has kind of like a standing bottom on it, I'm able to, when I got food in there, it's able to stand on its own inside the bag, and it stands up. And it's actually, with this rolled over, it's pretty airtight. It's worked fantastic so far. I'm going to give it a go and see if I can, cut down on the single-use plastic. I also like peanut butter and jelly a lot. So, I always get peanut butter in plastic jars. It doesn't weigh very much, but jelly always comes in, seems like they always come in glass jars. So I've been carrying these for years. I used to use them for peanut butter as well, but I don't use them for peanut butter anymore. But for jelly, these things are fantastic. I just go ahead and fill this thing up when I'm in town, carry it, and then it's really easy to clean and wash out, open up, and refill it for the next go around. So I'll be carrying one of these as well. My spoon of choice is Toast titanium spoon. Everybody, loves these things. I do too. Non-indestructible. I love the polished bowl. I don't like the feeling of the titanium in my mouth. I don't like using wooden spoons. I don't like using plastic spoons. So the cheap plastic spoons that have a pretty good ridges on them, I don't like those either. So I've never had a problem with this. Love the Toast titanium spoon. For hanging my bear bag, I've got Z-Pac's rucksack. This thing's pretty beat up. I'm hoping it makes it through a little bit. I got a lot of holes in here. I may have to get a new one. But I got 50 feet of line in here. Then I also carry an extra 50 feet of line. I've been researching and looking at other methods other than the PCT hang for when you can't find decent trees. This method, you use 2 trees. And by using this method as well, it's a lot easier to pull your bag up, especially if you got multiple bags. If you got more than one person trying to hang their bag on one line, this is a lot less friction, a lot easier to do. So I'm going to be working on this 2-rope system a lot more this winter and getting it down perfect, or as much as I can get it down perfect. And if I want to do just a regular PCT hang, I got that as well, which I carry this little titanium tube for doing my PCT hangs. It's a lot stronger than a stick. It'll never break. It's very light, weighs 10 grams, I believe. So I always carry that one too if I'm doing just a regular PCT hang. I have a couple of very light tablespoon measure, teaspoon measure. I am a coffee person, really like my coffee, and I have found finally, it's taken a long time, but I have found a instant coffee that I really like. So, and I like to measure it out that way. I can, the way I'm carrying it, if I measure it out, I know how long it's going to last. I've been drinking coffees in the morning and marking on the side of my container, so now I know exactly how far or how many days I can get out of a container of coffee. And one last thing I got inside here is just a little bag. That's what I carry. It's a little, very light, little plastic bag, easy to refill, nice wide opening. Olive oil. Put olive oil in there. Okay, for water, I'm a big fan of the Canuck Becto bags. I've never had the little pinhole leaks. I've had one bag for 2 years now, and it's worked fantastic. Never had any kind of leaks in it whatsoever, and I got thousands of liters filtered through that thing. This is a brand new one I'm going to take on a trail, so hopefully I don't fall victim to the pinhole leaks on this one. If not, I'll have my old one sent out to me. It works fantastic. I've gone with the Platypus Quick Draw. It's really nice. I just started testing this filter last year. I just thought I'd give it. I've never had a problem with the Sawyer Squeeze. It's worked fantastic, and I like the Katahdin Bee Free too. I've used that. The flow rate on a Katahdin Bee Free seems to get slower faster than almost all the other ones, but the flow rate is so much better than the other one. But this one seems to have almost as good a flow rate as Bee Free, and I have not had it clog yet, not even slow down yet. Just keeps on trucking. I mean, we'll see how it lasts on a long hike though. In the wintertime, I'm starting with this. I'm going to carry this, but I'm starting February, middle of February. I'll probably start using these on the really cold days to avoid, getting water in my filter. These are the Aquamira tabs, part A, part B, 7 drops of each, wait 5 minutes, put it in 1 liter bottle and wait 30 minutes. What I really like about these is no flavor, no taste. You don't get any aftertaste from them. Used to use the iodine stuff back in the 90s, and that stuff was horrible. So this is what I'll use to start with. This should get me through the first month. But if it does get warm, have some warm days, that's the reason I'm carrying my filter. I'll use my filters for convenience, so you can't beat it. I carry a 700 milliliter bottle on my shoulder pocket. I got the Chicken Tramper ultralight gear shoulder pocket, and I got the small one for the 700 milliliter bottle. I like the way the 700 milliliter bottle fits in, and it gets down below. I don't like to have a big 1 liter bottle up in my eyesight. But also these smart water bottles, they go into the pocket real slick. That's the reason I use these. I tried other bottles. They don't quite work so well. These ones work fantastic. I like the only problem is with the top. The top on these smart water bottles break really fast. One day, and it usually snaps off if you pop it open a few times. So I ended up going out to Amazon and I bought these pull top, push pull tops they call them. They work extremely well and they last forever. And then I got a 2-pack, so I got another one in my miscellaneous kit, my spares kit. So 700 milliliters, replace as needed. And then because I'm starting again in the middle of February, I usually use the Body Armor 1 liter bottles. Like the wide mouth on those, and because I use the Platypus now, I'm not so worried about it squeezing on top. It will, although the Platypus, it does adapt to the top of the smart water bottle, so you could use one, but I don't really like using the smart water bottles to filter my water with. So like say I use the Body Armor 1 liter bottles most of the time. I'll be starting a trail because I'm starting in February, middle of February. I'll be starting a trail with a Nalgene ultralight. These are made of it. They believe it's NDPE or UDPE. UDPE. Sorry. One of those two. Sorry. But anyway, these only weigh 3.75 ounces, and a regular Nalgene weighs 6.25 ounces. So it's quite a bit lighter than a regular Nalgene and very strong as well. But what I like about this, and then I went and got a Liberty Mountain bottle sleeve. Liberty Mountain bottle sleeves are fantastic. I put this thing out, filled an Nalgene up with water, and put this thing outside. And it sat out there for 2 days, and the temperatures both nights got down to 18 degrees and, up into the high 20s at night during the day. and it kept this thing from freezing, sitting up there solid for 2 days. So I think it'll be good to go on a trail. Like I said, that's how I'm going to start. It got the little pad that goes on top, cinches it down, makes a real good seal on it. So oh, my dog's down there barking. Oh well. So it makes a real good seal. And as weather warms up and I don't need it anymore, I'll go ahead and get rid of this thing and pick up along the trail, pick up another body armor bottle and go from there with that. So that's pretty much it for the water, my cook kit, and my food storage. And thank you very much for watching. And hope my dog didn't bother you too much. Somebody must be walking by the house or something. And you guys have a good night. Thanks.